There they are. First match is going to be Goku, who we haven't seen for some time. He's been sitting down watching the next 7 matches that came after his victory, and he's going to be facing off with X30Nlegacy. Boys, what do we think?
I don't know. This is going to be a hard one to decide.
I'm done with this. I don't know. This is going to be a hard one to decide. Broken record business out of you, childish.
Here's the deal, though. Goku had an opportunity to basically watch everybody play. So if he's able to advance on Legacy, he's going to understand what these guys are bringing and try to use his strategy to employ on those particular opponents.
Yeah, and Legacy looked pretty stone cold in his win, too. He was real efficient. Didn't take him much time to get through. It was a 2-0 victory up against OJ Sun, who's a decent player. And obviously, you know OJ pretty well. He's part of that malicious guild that... Chuffles and I believe is it Asia Republic are both members of as well.
Yep.
And don't forget that you guys are welcome to join the conversation on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you fancy, using SWC 2017 as the hashtag. So let's keep the train rolling, boys. It is the first match of the quarterfinals as we send it back inside the arena and welcome them to the podium. First up is Jesse's son, a.k.a. GokuEatsWatermelon. Goku, the name of his dog that apparently fancies the delicious fruit, as do I. I'll tell you what, there's worse things for your dog to get into than some watermelon, that's for sure. And we get him all set up with his tablet, and the man that Goku is going to be facing, of course, Anthony Ramsey from Youngstown, Ohio, a.k.a. X30Nlegacy, who talked to us about his preparations.
Preparing for this weekend, I definitely have tried to watch some replays of what other people are doing. I've watched streams of the other people playing. I've watched some of other people's videos like Childish or Claytano that they've done on other players or with other players that are here today.
All right, how much did you guys pay him to say that? I just fess up right now.
Sponsored.
Nice. Member of the Army National Guard is Legacy. And that's certainly a hallmark of discipline, which is what it definitely takes if you want to put in the hours and grind like you need to do to get yourself up into the highest echelons of Summoners Wars. So here we go. The draft is underway, Childish.
Oh, man. All right. It looks like Goku's going to lock down that Ganymede. And first pick, of course, we got Legacy answering back with the Fanyan and Wusa. Now it's back up to Goku. He's going to have about 15 seconds to decide what he's going to do. I like the choice on Tiana, considering that we got Legacy trying to provide that immunity here. So, of course, Asarian's in here to try to counter the passive of a Fanyan here. It looks like he's really playing to what the other opponent is bringing, Clay.
Yeah, so I think both of these players actually used Fanyan and Molong a lot in their first match. So having these two similar playstyles against each other now for the second round of fights, it's going to be interesting because you obviously know what you aren't good against.
Right.
So you know how to pick against a player that's picking the same way that you would. And as you see from Goku, he knows that the Tsarian is super important to play against a Fanyan, so he picks that as soon as he sees the Fanyan go down from Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy answers back with the Molong and Bastet, and now we have Goku locking down Rakuni and Icarus, the Dark Sylphid. This is going to be an interesting one here, waiting for Legacy to decide. Bringing in the beta. I wonder how he has this rune. We have a gentleman by the name of Simbooty who showcased a unique build prior to this particular event here. Is he going to take a page from his book? We'll have to wait and see.
Possibly, but we've seen this same composition from Goku in his first round. He had the Icarus and the Ganymede combination, and now we see the same thing happening here. It looks like Legacy is letting that combination through. He's expecting to outspeed them and then potentially take out one of those monsters first turn. So Goku ends up banning out the Bastet, which is giving him that first turn. So now we see a double immunity buff from Legacy with Wusa and Bastet. And it's going to be hard to break through that shield, of course, especially with not having too much buff removal from Goku's side, other than just the first turn for Ganymede.
Correct. I don't like to make any predictions, early on here, but considering the pick and ban phase, how it went down, Legacy is looking really strong starting it off here for him.
Interesting that Goku's favorite character, Ciara, not part of his build here. So here we go. It is game one, match one of the quarterfinals between Goku and Legacy.
Looks like Legacy's going to get that first turn, getting the Wish for Mortality up. Of course, now, because he has the immunity up, he doesn't have to waste it on Bastet. Bastet can push the attack bar of the opponent, or the Fang Gank here, and it looks like he went ahead and did that, getting a defense break, and he wants to take it out. That's a really good way to go. I like Legacy's strategy here. Icarus is a really powerful unit when it comes to doing a fixed amount of damage on a unit that is built upon defense. So if there was one unit that can really take out Fang Gank, it's going to be the Icarus.
Yeah, but it's looking a little bit more in Goku's favor right now. Legacy's got to be careful that he doesn't get too much damage on the monster that he's trying to kill first. So if he's going after Icarus, he needs to make sure that he's got somebody else at a lower HP than him, because that Rakuni is going to make life really, really hard. And you can see that Icarus now gaining so much HP back, doing a whole lot of damage to the Molong. That's going to be a really important unit for Legacy's team.
Yeah, Molong going to be probably holding off on the Reckless Assault, but of course, Beta is on the back end that can provide that heal, as well as the critical damage reduction and the immunity. Looks like we're changing the pace here from Icarus to Caesarion. I like the choice there. Again, that passive is going to be really strong on Caesarion's side if the immunity gets taken off. I don't know, though. With regards to Legacy having double immunity, I feel like he's going to be able to hold on to it.
He should be in good shape, but again, don't forget the cycle between Ganymede and Icarus.
Correct.
Those two together, him ventilating out the Icarus, which I would assume that he's going to do right now, he doesn't really have any other option, so I'd assume, there he goes, so he ventilates the Icarus, and then now he's in a situation where he could potentially kill the Molong, but unfortunately with the Beta still in for Legacy, of course he can revive the Molong and get right back into the fight. So this, I don't know, I actually like Legacy's team a little bit better, but it looks like he did survive the Dark Recovery from Icarus, which was huge for Legacy.
Correct, correct. And now
Working down that Molong, though.
He also took another couple hits from the Caesarion, so he's still staying alive. That just shows you guys how tanky
Yeah.
Molong can be, and how, just OP he can be.
All right, and it looks like we got now Caesarion up to go. Oh, no, it is Wusa right there being able to take out Caesarion. Now we're sitting with Legacy in favor. 4 monsters for 3. Rakuni is locked down, but of course, Rakuni has the lower HP pool, so I think he's going to be able to remove that stun. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
And for Goku, this is where not having been able to take that Molong all the way out when he was trying to do so is going to prove real pesky.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now he's right back in the game, almost half HP, but then also if he still dies, you have the Beta to revive it again. So it's just going to be really, really tough for Goku to get back into this match. Of course, he still has the cycle between Ganymede and the Dark Sylphid, Icarus, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to get him back into this match. He's most likely going to ventilate it again, which he does, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, not with that shield right there, but we'll have to wait and see. He's going to try. Wow, unbelievable.
Still did not take it down. You can see the tilt on his face as he just kind of, leans back, and
What do I got to do? He's thinking.
I know, I know.
Molong just hanging on by a thread there.
Continues to build HP.
I think it's a super smart cycle, though, between Ganymede, Icarus, and then the Rakuni to not only, be there for the sustainability, but also just resurged the Icarus back up and gave it another turn. It just wasn't enough damage, and for the second time, that really hurts Goku in this situation. I don't think there's going to be much that he can do to get back into it, and I'd be looking towards round 2 to figure out what he's going to do if he can get the Wind Panda. That's kind of, I mean, it's not playing too much of a factor in this match. It's mainly the Molong that he's trying to work on first, which is definitely the right decision in my opinion. But he needs a little bit more sustainability. That Wind Panda is a good option to use against Molong as well. So we'll see how it goes into round 2.
And Ganymede's gone, so no more ventilating at this point.
Nope. And you can see right now, even though Goku may not be able to take it down, he is taking his time thinking about what has kind of happened with regards to this match, so he can use those into the next round, regardless of what the outcome is.
Was it appropriate for Goku to continue to focus on the Molong, even though it looked like an exercise in futility?
I definitely agree with that. I would say that Molong would be the smart choice. Let it get revived by the Beta, kill it again, and then move on to Beta afterwards.
But it seemed like an exercise in futility for him. I mean, he never quite got there. What was missing?
The problem is that he didn't have enough damage on his team, even though he kind of had all his eggs in one basket, which was the Icarus. Once the Icarus wasn't able to kill it twice, he didn't really have any other play.
Right. So kind of all in, and it didn't work out for him. So perhaps a more balanced counter to whatever the build is for Legacy on this occasion would be the appropriate adjustment to make as Goku goes down 1-0 and Legacy continues to look dominant in his matches.
Hasn't lost a single one yet.
Nope, not yet. Swept OJ Sun and now up 1-0 here, sitting pretty, leading off with the first pick to boot and blocking that Ganymede pick from Goku.
I think that was a great answer on there, considering what happened in the first round. Goku does take the Feng Yang now, and we got the Wusa to lock it down. Of course, Legacy's looking to answer back to that passive using Tsarion to counter the Feng Yang and bring it in Chilling to once again counter Wusa. We had seen that early on in the first round of 16 here, so I like the play here, considering what has been laid out thus far, Clay.
So, immediate counters from Legacy, of course. So you have the Tsarion for the Feng Yang, you have the Chilling for the Wusa. But I was actually surprised to see Legacy not go for the Wind Panda first, because he had some success against Goku, even letting the Ganymede, Rakuni, Icarus through. And he decided to go with the Ganymede first pick instead. I would have taken that advantage, taken away one of the most important units from Goku's team, but he decides to let it through. Of course, like we discussed previously, when you know so much about a certain unit because you use it in your comp, you know how to counter it, so he may decide that he knows what to do against it.
Yeah, definitely here.
Will we see the Molong as his fifth pick, perhaps to draw the attention of Goku?
Possibly, possibly. I mean, obviously,
Doesn't really fit into this mix the same way it did the last comp, though.
Right, yeah, it doesn't appear to be, but again, I mean, either way, Molong is just such a great unit. You can almost incorporate it into any particular RTA team, and even with Perna here, to fill in the void of a damage dealer, I like the choice there either way.
The only problem with Molong in Legacy's pick is if he would have taken it, he doesn't have the sustainability that he had last game, so he's basically just one shot.
Right, without the beta to supplement.
One and done, and he doesn't have the HP back to give himself more use to have another Reckless Assault. So I agree with not going with Molong in this situation. I think Perna giving himself a little bit more sustainability is definitely a smart option for Legacy. We don't even see a Molong choice on Goku's side, but I feel like Goku's team is a little bit more set up for a Molong pick, and especially going into a Perna Tsarion Chilling, I would say Molong would have been a good option, but he decides to go with a different Annabelle instead, which ended up getting banned out anyway.
So here we go, Goku with his back up against the wall, down 1-0. Legacy looking to perform his second clean sweep.
Yes, here we go, and of course we got the wind that changes us in. We're going to get rid of all of this immunity and now get our Wusa up so we can stay sustained and stay away from that Ganymede here that can really set him back. Rakuni, I'm guessing he's going to be able to research one of the monsters. I don't see him using the, of course, Wusa. He wants to get that immunity way back up relatively quickly here, so I like the choice in that aspect. Rakuni getting the Violent proc here. Now who is going to work on Ganymede? A really amazing choice. Of course, Wusa now is trying to get a sleep, but oh, it looks to me surprising here. We got a couple of revenge sets on the Chilling, stealing the buffs, a crucial aspect that I don't know Goku was anticipating.
No, that's definitely exactly why you want Chilling against a Wusa pick, because if you remember from last time when we saw Goku at the beginning of the tournament, he has a Violent Wusa. So that's a little bit scary to go against, but with having the Chilling now on Will, on immunity, it's going to be tough to take it down. But again, here's the huge damage coming from that same Tiana that we saw in the first round as well. So he's actually doing a really good job. He has the Tsarion now to counteract against the passive for Rakuni there. And I don't know, I think Legacy, it's kind of going back and forth. You can see both players having very smart choices, but it looks like Ganymede's staying alive. Is it going to be enough, though? There's going to be one more turn. There's actually a couple turns. Perna's going to get a chance to go as well. Not doing enough damage, but he's going to be able to take it down. Oh, not able to do it.
So close.
Finishes it off with the Tsarion, so it's still okay, but still having to take another turn instead of landing that Oblivion on the Wind Panda potentially.
Correct.
It's a little bit tougher now.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Of course, now we just got the reset on Ganymede, but I'm surprised to see he went that way, considering that Tiana was going to follow through, and now Wusa is to be able to take him out. Would you have reset somebody else, considering that it looked like with regards to the attack bars on Goku's side, he's probably going to take him out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, far as the chilling is concerned, I would have stole some of the buffs from Tiana, or at least tried to. But from here, I mean, I think Legacy's still in a good position. Gets the Oblivion, which is exactly what he needed. Now he can go ahead and focus. Got a Violent proc as well now, landing a defense break. So Goku is in a really, really bad situation, especially with Perna now getting a turn, landing more damage. And I believe, oh, look at that. So
there it is.
Tiana able to make use of her now, removing those debuffs, and Legacy's got to land the Oblivion all over again.
Yeah, he's going to have to start back from square one here. It looks like Goku has decided to try to work down Chilling, getting a crucial sleep on Chilling by means of Wusa here. I love that aspect. Now, who does he focus on? He's definitely going to go for that Dassarin. He does not want Dassarin to lock down his Fenyang, which is, of course, one of his crucial components, Goku's main monster here that's going to be able to do some great damage coming in later to the match.
Well, we saw the Violent proc from Wusa. Also now another Violent proc from Perna. Wusa now has the third skill up and able to land a couple buffs, but the Chilling unable to remove it because it's asleep.
Yeah, can't do anything about it here. Just gonna have to sit and wait back. Of course, as we saw, we had some revenge sets on it. I don't know if he has any kind of violence set, but once again, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Trying to break through that amazing shield by Wusa. Doing oh, it looks like we got Tiana helping here. Now we're kind of waiting back to see what Tiana's going to do. Yep, it looks like it's going to continuously use his second skill, which of course these monsters being based, doing a lot of damage based on, or that skill being able to do damage based on enemies' attack speed, and generally people building these units with a lot amount of speed. Tiana's going to do a lot of damage coming into the later stages of the match, Clay.
Yeah, and I just don't think there's enough in Legacy left to take out these last three monsters. There's a lot of sustain between the three of them. There's a lot of, I mean, Violent procs that can happen from the Wusa, and I think Goku was able to successfully change a strategy around, was able to take the Wind Panda away from Legacy, and it's worked out for him just fine.
Yep, it has. And now, of course, the match is still going, but it looks like now it is officially over. Goku taking the win, so we can take it to Game 3. A lot of things to consider from both of these players, considering that now they're going to have the option of doing the coin toss and getting that first pick.
Goku looked in trouble there in Game 2 for a minute.
It was. There was a bunch of swings. One way, Legacy had it. Another turn, Goku had it. So it was interesting to see how both players kind of kept their composure, got back into it a couple times, and then eventually Goku, with a couple different plays, able to take down the key monsters. Getting that sleep on Chilling as well was crucial.
And that's a lesson in not tilting. Granted, with the comp that both of them had, they understood there would be some potential swings depending on how the RNG cut. But nevertheless, there are those who find themselves behind and all of a sudden just get that doom switch in their head and don't focus on the fact that they still have outs, they still have options.
Yeah, so definitely hats off to Goku keeping his composure. But it looks like Legacy did get the coin toss, and he is going with what we said earlier.
The double panda build.
Taking the double panda, but also taking the Wind Panda first turn.
For sure, yeah. I think we kind of knew that if Legacy, I mean, either one of these guys, they probably would have taken the first turn, but Legacy for sure, if he got that first turn, which he did, he was going to take that Fenyang away from Goku.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key points, and I wasn't sure why he didn't do it the
second one.
round.
Yeah,
yes.
The second round, I don't know.
Doesn't make sense, but here he goes now. Hopefully he can finish it off and not pay for that mistake on the first round. And
yeah, because if he loses the coin toss, he doesn't have the edge like he does here. So, you know, things, when he had the option to run the same build twice, why he didn't take it, we may never know. Maybe Maria will be able to get that info for us, assuming he's able to win this third game, which is not a foregone conclusion, as we see the Ganymede Hathor build, along with the Chilling and the Wusa from Goku. And that's the Violent Wusa, right?
it is Violent Wusa. Goku has that built a little bit differently than really anybody else does. I'm not sure exactly how fast it is, but just being on Violent is an interesting build.
Yeah, and I believe actually, if I'm staying correct with it, that's actually the Fire Desert Queen segment, not yeah, I think it is. It's not.
Yeah,
It's hard to see on our screen there. Yeah,
it is segment, which a lot of people don't typically use. However, we've seen it in recent online tournaments. Segment coming in clutch. It was almost a battle between who can get segment first with other super top high-end players of the game. But now let's see if Goku can pull it off the same way as they did. And looks like the bans go down. Feng Yan is out, as we could have almost guessed. And then also Tiana is out with all that damage that she applies as well. And
And that's one thing that we always kind of leave for granted. Even though Tiana's a really good support monster, she provides the defense break. She does damage based on the enemy's attack speed. If you happen to have some interesting runes to provide you a little bit more attack, a little bit more critical damage, you can still do some great amount of damage in the later stages of the match. Okay, and here we go. It looks like Goku's going to get that first turn, providing the Wish of Immortality, getting the 3 turns of Immunity and Shield. Now we have Sekhmet up to go. Is it going to use his third skill on Bastet? No, it actually is going to be using it on Molong, and I like that choice here. Of course, Beta is providing the immunity on their team. Now we got a opposing game here. Tons of immunity on both ends, so we're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. Chilling, stealing the buffs. Off the step so that we got Ganymede to follow through and try to reset the skills. But of course, now we get the Violent Proc here. Is he going to ventilate himself or move it to, yep, he does go for the ventilate on himself. I like that choice. All right, now we're sitting back here with regards to Legacy. Again, knowing how crucial of a component that Ganymede is, looks like his strategy is to try to take it down. But of course, that immunity and the shield is just too hard to break through, Clay.
It's just dawning on me now that the unit I thought was Hathor is the segment that you guys were referring to, and we have yet to see that unit make its way into any of the RTA matches that we've seen. So here she makes her first appearance in the quarterfinals, and yet to be determined whether or not Goku will be able to employ her effectively against the comp that he's up against here with Legacy.
To be honest with you, I know it's a weird pick. It's not something that we see very often, but between having Sekhmet and Ganymede together, that provides a lot of skill resets. So there's one going down on Beta from Ganymede, and then you're going to have another one come down from Sekhmet here very, very soon, if I didn't miss the first one already.
Right, I believe you, yeah, you didn't. You're right. Looks like now that Sekhmet's up to go. Crystal the Beautiful is in, providing defense break, Lantern, and hit point disturb, but unfortunately he was only able to land it on Bastet and a couple there on Beta. Wasn't able to get it on, was it Molong here? So now we are waiting back. Okay, now we got Legacy up to go. Still trying to work down that Ganymede. Of course, we got the Wusa compliments of Goku providing that heal on the second skill. Now we're waiting back. We got a nice stun here. The additional turns here by Molong answering. But of course, we now have Sekhmet. Where is he going to work on? It looks like he tried to land on Tsarin, providing Tsarin can actually do some decent damage, despite what generally people have built in the past. Now we have here sitting back, Ganymede sitting, waiting to decide what to do. He has the ventilate up. Does he reset himself or move on to a different unit? He does, in fact, put the reset on Ganymede here and now gets the additional turns, sealing the magic, getting on along, and resetting the attack bars to square one here.
Yeah, super, super clutch Violent Proc from Ganymede there. I was thinking he had a couple different options. He had a ventilate. He could have also maybe taken out the Sekhmet as well, but he decided to gamble, went for the ventilate, able to get his seal magic back up, which is great because now Legacy in a really bad situation because he doesn't have Molong's skills, unfortunately, and Goku with the chilling is just, it's doing a lot of damage on pretty much all the monsters. Also got a 2-turn sleep from Wusa, which is something that we don't see very often. However, in the LA Regional Championship, we saw all of the Pioneers landing a lot of 2-turn sleeps, so we do see here one today.
And no risk, no reward, as Goku took the chances that he needed to and finds himself ahead 4-3 here. At these, high levels, you certainly can't sit back and play super conservative and expect to win regularly.
No, so definitely Goku in a great situation. He's not going to use the second skill here from Sekhmet, I would assume. He's going to keep that Tsarin asleep. Exactly what he should have done. Now he's going to finish off the rest of the damage on Beta. Needs to get it down. Otherwise, the Beta can revive the Sekhmet back to life. Whether or not the Sekhmet's a super crucial unit for Legacy, I don't know. But now the Seal Magic comes down. And also doing a lot of damage, almost killing the Beta, leaving it one shot now for Sekhmet to finish it off. And then now it's just making work of those last 2 monsters, and Goku able to turn things around.
Yeah, definitely. He has the entire team of Legacy locked down right now, so he's going to have to awaken one of the monsters. I'm curious to see who he decides to pick. Well, actually, let's take a step back here. He actually ventilates Wusa here, and now we have Segment to go ahead and answer back now. Of course, Segment is going to go ahead for reset, with Tessarin being the one that can work down probably, yeah, Ganymede. I feel like that was a great choice to try to work it down, because obviously he wants to keep Ganymede alive.
And we know how tanky Molan can be, but without Beta out there for the sustainability, it's a whole different story.
Yep, there's really no way that Molan can get back in this match. Of course, making sure that he has a reset up before he wakes the Molan up is definitely a good option as well. And here he goes. He's got the reset. He's going to bring it down.
No.
We don't get to see it because the game is over. Goku moves on, and Legacy is out.
Coming back from down 1-0, Goku making the necessary adjustments and taking the risks when he needed to, benefiting a little bit, and finds himself moving forward. The first person to get out of the quarterfinals. Pretty resilient performance there by Goku, if I do say so.
I'm impressed. I am absolutely impressed by the way he's been playing. A lot of smart choices, and I want to see what he has to say about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to be heading over to chat with Maria shortly. Childish, what did you take away from that match?
Oh my goodness. I mean, everything. I feel like Goku definitely did his homework when he was watching Legacy play those first early matches here, and really used that into consideration here. So, of course, Legacy, it was kind of surprising. Legacy looking really strong versus OJ Sun, and you know, going 2-0 here. And now, of course, when they matched up here, I was surprised. I honestly thought that Legacy could pull up, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way.
I'll tell you what, it felt as though there was as much battle going down in the pick ban phases of that particular match as there was afterwards.
Huge.
And so we'll send it down now to Maria, who is standing by with the first winner from the quarterfinals, Goku.
Goku, you were also the first player to move on to the quarters. You had the most time to study your opponent. So how do you think that played into you being able to come back after losing the first game?
I think I'm being able to steal his Ganymede on the last game was the point getting me win, and of course the violent proc from Ganymede that sealed the game. So yeah, I got lucky.
Do you feel like now the pressure is on, seeing as how if you win the semifinal match, you are going to be in contention not only to win this regionals, but you're going to be moving on to the Worlds? How important is that to you?
I don't know. I would be super surprised, at least, because winning the first match is already surprising me, and keep going. You just see how lucky I can get be.
All right, well, good luck in the semis. We'll see you back here shortly.
Thank you.
So Goku, somewhat verifying that that pick ban was really big. He saw it the same way as he blocked the Ganymede and cruised his way in.
But it's interesting because we thought it was the Wind Panda that everybody was fighting over, but he's saying that it was the Ganymede that kind of allowed him to get back into the game.